Okay. Take roll. I'd now like to call the meeting of the Ethics Task Force together. Madam Clerk, would you read the roll call, please?
Commissioner Kinlock,
Present.
Commissioner Dahl,
Here.
Chair Wilson.
Present.
We have a quorum present and Commissioner Peterson Mayberry is also present.
Okay, thank you. Next order.
Chair's remarks.
Okay, so first and foremost, I want to thank everybody for being here today. This is a very monumental occasion, and I'm very privileged to have the opportunity to be the chair of the Ethics Task Force. Without a doubt that this is a very critical team that Chair Bell has put together in order to be able to address some of the concerns that we have with the current ethics ordinance. So again, thank you to Chair Bell. Thank you for you all for being here. Felicia Johnson's team, Pam Fordham's team, the research team have done a great job of always keeping us prepared and keeping us in the know in terms of things that we need to be aware of in order to be effective in our roles. So having said that, because this is the inaugural meeting, and it's so very, very important that you all understand what we're going to attempt to do here, I'm going to give you an overlay on behalf of the chair of the current ethics ordinance. So Wayne County's ethics ordinance was established, as we all know, to promote integrity, accountability, and public trust. But evolving challenges in governance and in public administration make it clear that updates are mandatory and necessary to ensure that it functions effectively in today's environment. Growing concerns around the potential for contract steering, informal influence in procurement decisions, and internal investigations, in addition to unequal access to decision makers, highlight the potential gaps in transparency and oversight. At the same time, employees must be able to report misconduct without fear of retaliation. Current whistleblower protections and reporting mechanisms will be reviewed to ensure that they fully safeguard individuals who decide to come forward. The current ethics ordinance language points to penalties that are minimalistic and largely discretionary and may not deter serious misconduct. The task force objective will be to review the relevant provisions to determine how penalties can be strengthened. To all intent and purposes, the ethics board itself is appointed by elected officials. The task force will review the ordinance and, if need be, determine the appropriate language to ensure that board members maintain independence and impartiality. The complaint process will be reviewed to ensure it is not burdensome and does not discourage reporting, especially given the potential risk of retaliation and the subjective bad faith standard, which can be used to silence legitimate concerns. The ordinance must sufficiently address the role of personal, political, and professional relationships in shaping decisions so that there's no room for error. There must be clarity and there must be strict enforcement around coercive practices, such as the use of authority to influence a person's testimony, internal processes, or employment conditions to avoid the erosion of both organizational integrity and employee trust. Strengthening the current ethics ordinance, which has not been modified in over 13 years, to address the foregoing issues is not only essential to prevent misconduct, but it's essential to create a system where ethical behavior is clearly defined, consistently enforced, and actively protected. Areas of concern that I noticed from the previous ordinance reads as follows. We have a weak enforcement policy with no teeth. One of the most glaring caveats is that the biggest financial penalty that can be imposed upon an offender is a $500 civil fine. And any subsequent discipline is discretionary. Moreover, it's up to the employer. A major issue here is that senior officials or contractors, two senior officials or contractors, excuse me, $500 is a meaningless nuance. Adding to this inefficiency is that there are no automatic consequences for serious violators. The impact is that this makes the ordinance more symbolic rather than deterrent, especially in high collar procurement environments. Second item, ethic board lacks independence. The ethics board is appointed by elected officials at one per elected office holder. The same officials may be investigated, the same officials who may be investigated, excuse me, control appointments. It's a 7-member board. So ideally, 6 members would not feel influenced or be intimidated by the official being investigated. The task force must determine if there is a need for more independent selection or even third-party oversight. The impact here, this creates potential political influence, risk, and the perception of protecting insiders. The third observation, the ethics board has no independent investigative power. The board can review complaints and hold hearings, but has no clear subpoena powers or authority to request documents and compel consideration consistent with applicable law. The ethics board relies exclusively on voluntary cooperation. This makes it hard to investigate complex misconduct, such as contracts, coercion, and undue influence. The impact here is that serious cases could potentially stall or collapse due to lack of evidence of access. Next observation, does the complaint process discourage reporting? To file a complaint, you must identify yourself, sign before a notary, and provide detailed allegations. This allows for no anonymous complaints and creates an environment where employees are likely to fear retaliation. Whistleblower language in our ordinance indicates that protections should be reviewed to ensure they are meaningful and must properly protect employees from real-world retaliation. While this ordinance prohibits retaliation on its face, it does not establish a clear mechanism, a clear enforcement mechanism, mind you, of independent investigation or an independent investigation pathway or meaningful penalties for those who decide to retaliate. As a result, the framework may place more burden and risk on the person reporting the misconduct than those who are actually engaging in it, ultimately weakening transparency and systematically discouraging employees from coming forward. The impact, most insiders won't report misconduct, especially against leadership. The fifth observation, vague conflict of interest standards. The ordinance's conflict of interest provisions are undermined by overly broad and vague language that leaves significant room for interpretation and inconsistent enforcement. Terms such as, I quote, should reasonably be expected to know, end quote, quote, appearance of a conflict, end quote, and even, quote, substantial financial interest, end quote, appear to rely heavily on subjective judgment rather than clear, objective thresholds or bright line rules. While the ordinance does provide some numerical guidance, that is income or ownership thresholds, many real world conflicts such as close personal relationships, informal influence, or indirect benefits can fall outside of these definitions, yet still impact decision-making. Clear definitions and mandatory disclosure triggers tied to specific actions, such as participation in contracts, hiring, or investigations, must be considered consistently to consistently identify, and prevent conflicts before they influence public relations. The impact here, interpretation varies widely, and enforcement may become inconsistent. Next observation, gift rules have large loopholes. While the current language bans gratuities, it still allows, quote, personal friendship, unquote, gifts, event tickets, food, and up to $75 sponsored for travel events. The problem here is that there are common influence channels, and the most troublesome on being friendship is easy to claim. Impact here, it could create pathways for influence that are improper, but are technically allowed under the current ordinance. Next observation, campaign finance carve-out. Campaign contributions are explicitly not gratuities. The problem is that a major influence mechanism is excluded in the current ordinance. An enhanced scrutiny threshold should be required for high-level donors. Mandatory disclosure requirement for campaign contributions to force transparency. Independent audit trigger for high-level donor award contracts should be accessible. Heavy penalties for non-disclosure should be the norm. The impact here is that you can donate to campaigns, then receive contracts without violating this ordinance, in essence. Next observation, weak post-employment revolving door restrictions. Only 1 year restriction for elected officials, and it has limited scope. The problem here is that it doesn't cover staff broadly, lobbying transitions, or consultant roles effectively enough. The impact here is that it could encourage pay-to-pay pipelines and insider knowledge monetization. The next observation, ethics board cannot impose real penalties. The current ethics board makes findings and refers discipline to others. There's no direct enforcement authority or mechanism. Impact, if leadership chooses not to act, nothing happens. The next observation, no strong audit or proactive oversight. The system is compliant driven, not audit driven. Misconduct is only addressed and reviewed after someone actually reports it. The impact here is that this creates a system where this creates system misses such as patterns of abuse, contract steering, and cultural issues. Next observation, lobbyist rules are very minimal. Registration required and $75 food limit. The problem here is that the problem is meeting disclosures, communication logs, and real transparency is being avoided in this instance. The obvious impact is that lobbying influence remains largely invisible in this ordinance. The next observation, disclosure requirements are limited. The ordinance disclosure requirements are too limited in scope and timing and may not effectively capture real-world conflicts, particularly those rooted in relationships rather than clear financial ties. While the current ordinance requires annual reporting of certain financial interests and employment connections, it does not mandate real-time or transaction-specific disclosures tied to key decisions like contract awards, hiring, promotions, or investigations. More importantly, the framework largely overlooks non-financial relationships such as close personal, political, or professional associations that can significantly influence decision-making, but fall just outside of formal definitions of substantial financial interest. Without broader disclosure triggers, clear definitions of relational conflicts and requirements tied directly to decision points, the current system may not capture all potential bias and limits both transparency and, even more so, accountability. The impact conflicts can exist without being disclosed. Next observation, getting towards the end here. This is the final observation that I observed. Culture versus enforcement gap. The current ordinance emphasizes integrity, ethics, and public trust, but it lacks strong enforcement mechanisms and structural accountability. This system relies heavily on personal integrity rather than system controls and measurables. The bottom line, at the end of the day, this ordinance lacks, it looks strong on paper, this ordinance looks strong on paper, but it is structurally weak in its enforcement mechanisms, its independence, and real deterrence. It is reactive instead of proactive, potentially politically influenced instead of independent, and limited in substantive consequences. Thank you very much. That concludes my chair's remarks on this very important topic of discussion. And Madam Chair, Madam Clerk, next order of business, please.
Item C, unfinished business, there is none listed. Moving to item D under new business, number 1, discussion of the process to review the ethics ordinance.
Yes, thank you, Madam Clerk. I'd like to combine items number 1, number 2, and number 3, since they are similar in scope.
Would you like for me to read in items 2 and 3?
Yes, 1, 2, and 3 combined.
Item number 2, establish the deadline for the submission of recommendations and comments for consideration of the Ethics Task Force. Number 3, review of the Ethics Ordinance, Section 40-2.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Okay, at this point, I'd entertain a motion to accept the items as read.
So no, so Mr. Chair.
Yeah, sure.
Yes.
Thank you. Wait, yeah, I'm sorry, Commissioner Kinlock.
Yes, okay, yes, and definitely appreciate your opening remarks, because this is something that we've been talking to, at least since I've been on this commission, of actually possibly reviewing the ethics ordinance, and so now we're here. And part of it, as you said, the deadline for submission of recommendations and comments for consideration, I would suggest that we have a period, and I would say 2 periods, where the public may submit.
Oh, excuse me, Chair Kinlock, that's great, but 1, 2, and 3, we need to, because we're going to have discussion.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Yes,
That's
yeah,
correct.
yes. So we're going to
Yes.
read them all into the record, and then we're going to have discussion on the 3 items.
Yes, thank you. I forgot the
Yeah,
first,
so
number 1.
that's why I'd like to entertain a motion to accept the first.
No, there's no motion in order.
I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry.
We just go into the items.
Okay, I'm sorry. Thank you, Commissioner Kinlock. So if I could, and thank you for that. But item 1, we're going to, we anticipate, or our objective is to take each section of the current ordinance, and from 40-2, the preamble, to 40-10 penalties, and go by each section and sort of dissect and determine what needs to be strengthened, what can probably be modified, and what can be left as it is. Subsequent to that, we're going to public comment. I think that's something that obviously, if you're going to have public trust, you have to have public comment. You got public comment. You got to have public involvement, participation, and engagement. And that includes everybody on staff. That includes the commissioners. That includes civil servants within Wayne County. That includes any taxpayer within proximity of Wayne County. They should be able to suggest and recommend ways to improve upon this current ordinance language. As far as the schedule, and again, I don't want to steal in your thunder. Yes. Okay. A point of clarification. Wait, I'm sorry.
Through the chair to this honorable body. So everyone should have received a copy of the current ordinance.
Okay.
I'm gonna also distribute to you the fraud investigative policy, which may be you may find useful and informative. You'll find that when you look through the current ethics ordinance, that it indicates that the ethics board doesn't touch anything that's criminal in nature. And that refers back to the fraud investigative policy, which also sets certain standards for county employees. So I'm gonna quickly distribute that so that
Thank you.
you all can, for your review. With regards to this ethics ordinance, in discussion with Chair Wilson, staff is humbly suggesting that as we go through this entire ordinance, that we do so in a specific order. That way staff can be prepared for every meeting and every topic. So what you should have something in here called an overview, where my office went through and tried to group certain topics together. And that way, as we go through the ordinance, we'll talk about the specific topics. Staff will have an opportunity to pull out any law that's relevant to these topics. We can pull out any examples that you may need from the state, from their standards, from other communities locally or whatever. So we'll be able to put together in a packet and we can have informative discussions. It'll be very difficult for staff if we just randomly go through, because we won't be able to be as prepared. So we're requesting that we do so in groupings. However, you all decide to take these groupings in whatever order is at your discretion. However, we have, so the first grouping was just the preamble, which is supposed to be for today. And that's just the intent and kind of the purpose of the ordinance that we can talk about today. The next meeting would be discussion with the ethics board. The ethics board did submit proposed revisions to the ordinance, and it may be important for you to hear their concerns, hear their successes, hear their recommendations and overall thoughts before we actually start going through each section. So while they have specific changes on the sections, we'll talk about those changes when we get to the sections, but just to hear their thoughts is probably important. So Chair Wilson has indicated that that will be our second meeting. So that's why it's the number 2 on your list. And after that, it'll be up to the discretion of this body as to how you move forward. This grouping will just help staff be prepared and make sure that you're fully informed as you go through each section. And we can group these in multiple meetings or however you all decide moving forward. If you have any concerns regarding my proposed groupings, please let me know. That's all I have. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Counselor. Appreciate that. Okay, I yield to Kinlock. Commissioner Kinlock, I'm sorry I may cut you off, but go ahead and
No, thank
finish
you.
your thoughts. Thank
No,
you. And thank you. You can sit right. You don't need to leave. You're fine.
No, thank you, Mr. Chair. So I like how this overview is laid out. What I was saying was that period in which we would have I guess public comment or receive public submissions. I would recommend that we have a front end. That means that on the front end, as we're developing and beginning these conversations, that the public have, I would suggest, about 2 weeks from this meeting to submit any sort of suggestions relevant to the ethics ordinance that they might have. This would also allow for staff to have an opportunity to review those submissions and then put those within the area as outlined on this overview. And then also, I would also think that there would be another period at the end, once we have a draft, where they would be able to submit, there'd be a public comment period where they could submit suggestions as relates to what we would be proposing, proposing as far as changes. And then we would come back after staff consolidate and review that and to see if we wanted to make any changes. So that's what I would like to speak to. That's what I'm speaking to as relates to the public comment period, that there should be a front end and a back end. Yeah.
Thank you, Commissioner Kinlock. Well stated. Any additional discussion? Commentary? Commissioner Dow, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Does Commission Council have any response to the public comment part of that.
Well, through the chair, so with regards to item 2, um, so part of the plan was hopefully to give a deadline for your fellow colleagues and the administration to submit comments, and we can have our clerk send out an email to the commissioners and to the appropriate people in the administration, giving them a deadline, whatever you set, asking them to submit their changes or recommendations. That way, again, we'll know as we're going through the ordinance. With regards to public comments, I have no issue with that. I'm not sure how we'll let the public know. Maybe we can put something on the website just indicating that we're going through this process, and if they have any comments, but just also remember that these meetings are public, they are noticed, and anyone is welcome to attend at any point.
I would also add that we issue a press release in regards to this undertaking as well.
Okay. Press release. Okay. Okay, thank you, Commissioner Kinlock, and thank you, Councilor Johnson, and Commissioner Dobb. Thank you as well. Any other discussion? Commissioner Peterson Mayberry, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So are we saying that the way that we're moving forward, I do like this grouping because this is a pretty extensive document. So I really can appreciate the grouping and the plan to move forward where the meetings are themed and topical, so that if there are any commissioners who don't sit on the committee have any feedback, then they can submit to you and the rest of the committee prior to that meeting.
Absolutely. Okay,
Mr. Chair.
yes, recognize Commissioner Kinlock, please.
Okay, as relates to the suggestion, the outline that is in front of us, I absolutely like the overview that's been presented to us. And as far as a cadence, I would like to ask one, what is your suggestion as far as how often we should meet? As well as with that, I would like to make a suggestion that it be 30 days comment, that the public comment period, along with what has been suggested as far as elected officials, employees, and folks, that all be inclusive as far as a 30-day submittal timeline, and that particularly on the front end, and then we'll do that on the back end as well. But what's your suggestion as far as how often we should be meeting?
Thank you, Commissioner Kinlock.
Okay.
Okay, so yeah, we actually need to get actual dates.
I'll
Absolutely.
make a motion. That's one.
Okay, great. So my original estimation is that bi-weekly, we should meet bi-weekly for the first month or two, and depending upon the amount of work that we've been able to achieve and the amount of work that's left in terms of going through the current ethics ordinance and making the necessary modifications. Again, 2 weeks, first month and a half,
No.
and then, pardon
So
me?
for the open meeting
Every
act, we have to have a cadence for, so what
Okay,
I
so-
suggest, every 2 weeks, you as chair, based upon the workload, can postpone the meeting.
Sure. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I thought that was academic. If you don't have any.
Oh, no,
work
any
to
work.
do.
No, so
Okay,
Mr. Chair, I move that the cadence and that the notice be posted that this committee would meet every 2 weeks on
bi-weekly. Okay.
by 2 weeks. I'll ask 1 o'clock after Ways and Means.
Is that,
Okay, what that?
is that,
So I was going to ask. So what is a good
What-
time?
because this is our original meeting, so we need to get the
Okay,
times, you're right.
That's what I'm saying.
But-
What time would you suggest?
If it's gonna be Tuesdays, HHS at 1:30.
They sometimes run long, they
Mm.
run long.
3 o'clock. Okay, 3 o'clock.
I mean, what is the druther of the committee?
3 o'clock. I would 3 o'clock.
Hmm? Wednesday,
Okay. I have.
whatever your druthers.
Okay, let's see.
The first meeting times established.
Hold on. Yeah.
Government operations starts at 12.
So what day? What Wednesday is that? No, I'm saying the second Wed, is it the second or third Wednesday? Second and fourth?
Yeah. You got your calendar here, Bill.
Yeah, the,
Okay,
I have, I have, another meeting that I, have to be at 1 o'clock. And that's from 1 to 3.
okay, so let's
The second.
make sure everybody's available. What do we,
because this is our Tuesday schedule, this is our Wednesday schedule.
okay,
Thursday.
it's,
Could we do it after a full board day?
Oh, that's, yeah, that, yeah.
is that,
After every other, was Joe Slays like policy analyst. What CJC once a month, it's CJC meeting, which you chair,
Mhm.
is usually at noon-ish. And after the second full board meeting of the month, and those meetings have actually been fairly short.
Extremely short.
They're usually done by about 12:30-ish ballpark, so
12:30.
1 o'clock might be safe. On full board days.
Yeah, 1 o'clock would be perfect.
Good with that.
Okay, thank
Okay.
you. Nice.
fine? Okay,
1 p.m. on all full board days for now.
Yes, on the
Yeah.
full board, yes. So now this is permanent. We're doing this for posting. So yes,
mhm.
not every full board, but when does CJC meet?
Well, the next time is May 21st. It's after the second meeting of second of the month, yeah.
Oh, that's the one that we,
And that's that's every other month there is meeting now.
but we'll be doing it every month for,
Yep.
for this
Yeah,
until,
okay.
yes. So, the second meeting at for second full board at 1 o'clock, each month, we will be, meeting. I mean,
Just one meeting a month or two.
We meet,
sorry,
yeah,
every other month,
yeah,
right,
every other week, you mean
every
every
other
week,
week,
every other week, yeah.
yeah, right,
Okay.
week.
Every other week,
So basically 1 p.m. after every full board meeting.
Right.
Yes,
okay,
Starting the seventh, because remember, we added a full board meeting on the 30th. So starting with the seventh.
Starting with the 7th.
well, that's right, I'm not here to set,
Won't be either.
and you won't be here,
so we moved it, the chair moved.
She moved it to next week, the 30th,
Yes.
if the ethics board is available, because that's your meeting.
okay.
You have two, you have the 30th and the 7th.
Yeah,
Okay.
I'll be here
So
for
they're
the
saying they're
30th.
not
but not-
So you want to try the first meeting with the ethics board on the 30th if they're available? Is that what
Yeah,
we're saying?
if we can, yeah, I think the quicker the better, we can get going.
No, second, she's gonna move the second.
No, she.
And actually in the 30th, or after full board is Ways and Means on the 30th.
Jonathan,
Then you-
Yeah.
ways and means,
Yes,
Ways and Means on the 30th after full board.
yes, okay, yes, that's fine. It was,
Mm-mm.
so
Right. Ways and means at 11, so what time do you want to hold the task?
would 12 be sufficient?
12 be fine. We're
Okay.
gonna move to.
No.
My concern is that with that full board on the 30th, we're gonna have pretty much a full agenda, so I don't know if we're gonna be able to get out of full board in an hour or not. I don't know.
No, those items,
It was still a Ways and
Yeah.
Means, you know,
it's not, it's
Just-
those.
So are we meeting, you're on the 30th?
The 30th, it sounds like I hear the 30th at 1 o'clock, is that what I'm hearing? Is
Yeah.
that what we're hearing?
One,
Thursday at 1,
Yeah.
the 30th,
it's on the 30th.
for the inaugural meeting with the board, the ethics board?
May 21st.
Okay,
Good morning. Good morning.
that'll be fine, that'll be fine, yes,
And then after that, just
every other,
the cadence after every full board.
okay.
Cadence after that.
Yes.
Let's make sure we're all clear. Okay,
Then what's the next one?
Next one would be June 4th and June 18th.
Okay, that's perfect.
And then,
okay,
yeah, the June 18th, we don't have CJC, but that still gives
So we're good.
we're good.
June 4th, June 18th, 1 o'clock. So every full board, 1 o'clock.
Yes,
And if we need to
Postpone.
cancel, we'll do that.
Okay.
the chair will.
sounds good. Okay, we all can collectively agree,
Mr. Chair, Mr. Chair, I move that the meeting be, scheduled of the, Ethics Task Force, at 1 o'clock after each, full board meeting,
I'll support that motion.
okay,
Accept the 7th.
except the 7th.
okay, make that exception, okay. Properly moved by Commissioner Kinlock and supported by Commissioner Dobb. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Abstentions? Okay,
Mr. Chair,
yes,
subsequent motion, I would like to make a subsequent motion to call for the submission from the public, employees, elected officials, and all, that submission period be 30 days, and that period of 30 days shall begin on today, 30 days from today.
okay, the motion from Commissioner Kinlock is moved. Is there any support?
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Dobb. Stands adopted.
No,
No, we need a vote.
vote, we gotta vote.
You gotta vote.
I'm sorry. All those in favor signify.
Aye.
Aye.
Those opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Now, it's so
Mr. Chair,
support. Okay,
okay, another subsequent motion is
sure.
that,
Commissioner Kinlock?
yes, another subsequent motion so to be, that council and staff would include as part of the calendar that upon the completion of the initial draft of any recommendations, that there be a 30-day period from the date of action to receive public comment from elected officials, general public as well.
Okay, motion by Commissioner Kinlock. Any support?
Support.
Supported by Commissioner Dobb. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. The item is approved. Okay. Next order of business, Madam Clerk.
Item E, such other matters as may be properly submitted before the task force.
I'm not aware of any.
Actually,
Is there,
oh, okay,
pardon me?
oh, never mind. Sorry.
Okay. Next item,
Item F, public comments.
public comment. Do we have anyone on Zoom that is trying to chime in? Anyone
Good
on the
morning.
phone? Okay,
Can you-
sorry. Sounds like we have someone.
We do have Ms. Keitra Lewis. She's the chair of the Ethics Board online.
Greetings, everyone. Good morning.
Good morning.
Thank you so much for moving this forward. This is something that our subcommittee had been tasked with a couple of years back, and looks like I'm really excited to see some movement. Just want to make sure that we are sent some observations and in the upcoming meetings. And I also heard that there's a meeting scheduled for April 30th to meet with us. I'm not available that day, so I have to see if someone else is available, but just wanted to bring that to your attention.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, Madam. She's the chair of the Ethics Board. Right?
Yes, I'm the chairman. Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
thank you, Chair, Ethics Board. Appreciate it. Would you be available for Zoom?
I'm
You
at a
can-
conference that day,
Okay.
so probably not.
I know you can't conduct any business, but chime in, I guess. But okay,
Okay.
okay.
you.
Thank you. So you're not available. She's not available the 30th. Okay. All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, you too. Thanks. Anyone else, please?
Chair, there are no other hands on Zoom and no ones on the telephone.
Okay. Anyone in the chambers prefer to make comment? Going once? Going twice? Okay, public comment period is now closed.
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Okay, before we adjourn, just want to make it clear that news alert or press alert, or as relates to public comment, that goes out as soon as practical, meaning today or as soon as practical.
Okay, so I agree with that. That's okay, we get
Actually, it's public information team handles that, so.
Okay.
We'll make sure.
okay. All right. Sounds good. Thanks for the commitment. Okay. Next order of business, Madam Clerk.
Item G, adjournment.
Okay, I entertain a motion to adjourn the meeting. It's been made by Commissioner Dobb, properly supported by Commissioner Kinlock. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Okay, thank you.